if you've ever thought, I don't really trust myself around a bunch of alcohol, then this workshop is for you. If you are a gal who many times has made promises to yourself, you wake up with good intentions, and then you wind up drinking, and you're like, you know what? I don't even know what to do anymore. I'm so confused when I get around to alcohol because I want it and I don't want it. I want to drink more. I want to drink less. I have a love-hate relationship with drinking and it's exhausting. And I just don't know if I trust myself because I can say I'm not going to drink and then I drink. And what is that? So if that's you, this workshop is especially for you. And many of us, if we're not there right now, we have sure been there. So we understand. So today we're going to talk about how to rebuild trust with yourself. Because listen, we've got a lot of relationships out there. I personally believe we've got a vertical relationship that is with our creator, how we got here, who made us. That's this way. And then we go out this way horizontally with the people in our lives. But I got to tell you, in that vertical relationship, not only do I have a relationship with God, my creator, I have a relationship with me. And quite honestly, ladies, I'm married. I have 2 adult children. I have parents. I have a brother, sister-in-law. I have a lot of relationships in my life. No relationship, honestly, besides that personal relationship I have with Jesus. There is no relationship in my life, just sharing personally here, there is no relationship more important to me than the relationship I have with myself. Because I cannot connect authentically, genuinely, wholeheartedly with other people until I'm really connecting with myself. And I got to tell you, this alcohol-free journey, which started out with just being sober curious, has led me into rebuilding that relationship I have with myself. Not one of perfection. Listen, I'm an Enneagram 1, which means we're kind of known as the perfectionists. So I'm not going for perfection over here. I'm really not. What I'm going for is wholehearted living. I want to be wholehearted. I want to bring in all the parts of me, the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, the pretty, the ugly, the struggle, and bring it in and rebuild trust from that authentic, genuine place of wholehearted living. And I believe you can do that too. I really do. I think that's been one of the biggest parts of this journey, this sober-minded journey for me, is coming back to myself, coming back to who God made me to be, coming back to being able to trust myself in any given situation, that at the end of the day, I got my own back. And now I have the support of a tribe, which is pretty darn awesome. So let's talk about it. Let's just jump in to kind of my point number 1. How self-trust gets broken. Well, it's easy to do. You know why? Because we're human. And we tend to make promises to ourselves because we honestly do have good intentions. This can go way outside the realm of drinking into our diet, our sleep routine, we make good intentions. We say we won't do something. We say we will do something. And with drinking, we say we won't, and then we do. I cannot, ladies, I cannot even tell you how many times I woke up in the morning. Definitely age 40 to 45 for me were the 5 years that I struggled the most with my drinking. And I would wake up almost every day and say, I'm not drinking tonight. I'm not drinking tonight. And a lot of those nights I did. I absolutely blew right through my good morning intentions. And I got to the point in my own relationship with me, in my own trust of what I was saying to myself, usually in my own head, just in my own brain. I was like, Jenn, I don't believe you. I don't even believe you. I would almost mock myself. I would laugh at myself like, you're a joke. I would literally look at myself and I was like, Jenn, you're full of it. Because you're not going to, you're not going to follow through. And I was like, I want to not want it, but I do want it. So I don't know what to do at 5 o'clock. Okay, these are the things we talk about in the 21-day reset challenge because I've been there. And so I would wake up and I began to make promises that I knew I would break. So what happens when we repeat this cycle of making a promise, having a good intention, keeping it inside our head, and then breaking our own promises, we begin to lose our confidence. We begin to lose some of our self-esteem and our belief we can even do this. And it bleeds out into other areas because I started thinking, Holly, if I can't even trust myself, who can I trust? I mean, everywhere you go, there you are. So it was a big deal. So I made it, like I mentioned, I made a lot of rules in my head. I wasn't really talking about my rules with anybody else because I was just riding this thing solo. This is a personal journey, but it's not a solo journey. But back then when I was struggling, I was in isolation. I was making a lot of rules in my own head that nobody even knew about. So if I broke them, I had no accountability. I had no one like cheering me on if I followed my own rules. And I had no one mocking me or shaming me but myself. It was so lonely. And yeah, I made a lot of rules in my head. I'm reading my little notes here that nobody knew about. So yeah, isolation, a lot of behavior modification. I was really focused on like, am I being a good example to my kids? Am I being the good Christian wife and mom? It was all external, but the inside was just a mess. It was a jumbled mess of confusion. I was so confused on how I could have such good intentions and then not follow through. And that's a whole nother thing. Again, we talk about this a lot in the 21-day reset because you just need to understand that a lot of our choices come from how we're feeling, our emotions. And if you're walking around with a bunch of shame and confusion and inner chaos, well, you can really go back one more step and go back to your thinking. I say in my book, Look Alive Sis, I really had more of a thinking problem than a drinking problem. And that's absolutely true. And so when we repeat this cycle, this, I'm not going to drink tonight. Actually, I know I'm going to drink tonight, even though I said I wouldn't. It erodes our confidence. And then self-trust breaks through inconsistency. Because I could keep my promises sometimes and sometimes I couldn't. It's kind of like I could moderate until I couldn't. And I started not even believing myself, y'all. And as I mentioned, that is so painful. It is one thing to be abandoned or betrayed by somebody else. That is painful. That is not good. But I think it's even more internally painful to betray or abandon ourselves. And y'all, that's what I was doing on a regular basis, like multiple times a week. No wonder my confidence was low. No wonder the defeat cycle was so deep inside because I got to where I was like, Jenn, you're a liar. You're lying to yourself. And that's a pretty strong word. You're a liar. But I mean, that's really what I felt like. I was like, you're a joke. You know you are. Just stop saying you're not going to drink and just say you're going to drink, and I didn't want to. So, but it's really not about the drinking. It's really about the broken promises to yourself. And so that's what this self-trust is all about. It's not about walking a fine line of perfection. It's about being honest with yourself. And it's about having more willingness than willpower. And we'll talk about that too. If you've not taken a 21-day reset challenge, join us, sign up. Let's go. Let's do this together. I appreciate y'all being here. And I do hope that you're very encouraged and empowered. Y'all have a good one.